Hey guys, I'm Simulator Tech, and today I'm building a board that could potentially compete against the Neo 65. This is the MKC65, a 65% keyboard from mykeyclub that starts at $100. Inside the carrying case, we have a PCB. Mine is the wired hot swap version with no flex cuts. The PCB has south-facing sockets, great layout support, and supports QMK and VIA. Next, we have 3 pieces of foam, including thin case foam, plate foam, and PE foam. mykeyclub sent me 2 plates. One is a polycarbonate plate, and the other is an aluminum plate. Inside this little box, we have a braided USB-C cable, ribbon cables, some screws and spacers for top mount, a bag with feet, force brake stickers, and a hex key, a bag with silicone dumbbell gaskets, some sock gaskets, more screws, and finally the parts for the badge that goes on the top right of the board. In another box, we have the included screw and stabs. Here's the case. My unit is anodized black with a gorgeous gold PVD weight on the back. Unlike the MKC65, the badge has an M design in the middle of the weight. It looks great and is much improved over the MKC75's text. The case is held together by several screws on the back. Alright, let's get to the build. Firstly, I'll install the stabs. Mine are lubed with 205G0 on the housings and dielectric grease on the wires. They have no rattle and are smooth. Next up is the plate. In the video, I'm using the aluminum plate, but I'll have sound tests with the polycarbonate one as well. For switches, I'm using Akko Piano Pro switches. They're pre-lubed and are on the clackier side of the spectrum. To avoid any ping from contact between the top and bottom case pieces, I'll install the force brake stickers. All that's left is to install the assembly and top case. The keycaps I'm using for this build are Akko's black and pink The Dancer keycaps. They're double shot PBT with rather crisp legends and a smooth texture. The black gives the board a blacked out look, but the pink legends give it a hint of color. Overall, I think it looks fantastic, but let's see how it sounds. Okay, so the sound isn't this board's strength. It could be chalked up to my choice of switch, but I expected a little bit better. With the aluminum plate and no foam configurations, the sound wasn't bad at all, but it was slightly dull. With the polycarbonate plate and some foam, the sound was more lively, but in comparison to the Neo 65 sound, it's just not quite as good in my opinion. I found the gasket mount a little bit more pleasant in terms of sound, but the top mount is for those who still want that dry, almost hollow top mount sound. In the fuel department, there's not a whole lot of flex in any of the configurations. Obviously, there was no flex in the top mount configurations, except maybe a smidge with the polycarbonate plate, but that was all assembly flex. The gasket mount with polycarbonate plate had the most, and I think it could be even more without foam. So what are my overall thoughts? Well, I think this is a solid board for the price, but with the Neo 65 around on rolling releases, this board is a lot harder to recommend. From a purely sound perspective, the Neo 65 wins 9 times out of 10, but the one time the MKC65 does win is for those few that want the top mount sound. The Neo 65 does not support top mount, so this board beats it in that regard. Looking at the board overall, I think it's actually pretty close with the Neo 65, and it'll come down to whether or not you think the looks of this board can outweigh the difference in sound. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching, and thank you MkeyClub for sending out the board. See you guys later. Bye!